Okay. Hi, this is Lacey. I'm hoping this is working this time. Sorry about that. You need audio. That's going to be helpful. Okay. Hi, this is Lacey. I'm hoping this is working this time. Going to turn off my own audio so I don't get the feedback. Okay, so I'm really excited to have you guys here, as I said before, and you didn't know. We are excited to try this out, work out the kinks. Maybe we can do it again sometime. I'm going to be able to share my PowerPoint by doing it this way. So it took a little extra technical support. Thanks for the Tux because they know how to make this happen. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully it won't take too much of your time in class. It usually lasts about an hour and 15 minutes when I do it online. If you have classes or questions, then you're welcome to ask Drew those questions because he's going to be fielding questions on our Facebook page while I go through the class, and I'll save some time at the end too to answer them. But hopefully a lot of them will be answered just in watching. I'm going to try to make it real simple for you and make it so that these oils are totally easy to use. Okay, so first things first, if you have oils, doTERRA essential oils, pull them out. I want you to be able to smell them as I talk about them because it definitely enhances the experience in the class itself when you can smell them and use them as I'm talking about them. And now I'm going to pull up here we are. Okay, so a little bit about me. I am Lacey. I'm a Diamond Wellness Advocate with doTERRA. I'm going to be talking about how essential oils are simple tools for everyone to use, and they are so accessible and a simple way for you to get involved in natural healthcare and really overhaul your whole health. It's not just about the one quick fix. It's about what are the simple steps you can take on a daily basis to really improve things. And that's what I love about doTERRA the most is that, you kind of maybe enter because peppermint really worked for you, and then you try something else, and then you try something else, and then before you know it, you turn around and all of your health problems seem a little bit better. And so that's my goal, is for people to find those kinds of solutions for themselves. What we're going to cover is what essential oils are, how to use them, when to use them. We'll talk a little bit about safety and quality, and our global impact and what the industry's global impact can look like, and then how to purchase. I will review that at the end as well. A little bit about me. This is my family as of a couple years ago. We actually have another one now, a brother. So you've got 3 girls there and my husband, Drew. If you haven't met us before, we'd love to meet you in living color, but that gives you an idea of what we are about, because that's a picture of us on our farm in the country. It's been a dream of ours for a long time to live on a farm, and so that's what we do. And the oils fit right into that as well. I can teach a whole separate class about how we use the oils on the farm, in the garden, with the animals and everything like that. But today we're going to focus on humans and our use in the home and on our family. Our personal story with the oils, really when I got started, it was as a favor. I went to a class because my upline, Crystal, if you haven't met her, invited me, and my friend Angela wanted to go to this class and learn about essential oils, and I felt like I already knew enough about essential oils, but because they both wanted me there, I decided to go and, comply in that way. So I went and I learned so much more than I knew was possible with essential oils. I knew that they were good for, maybe an occasional cough or, opening airways, maybe diffusing to smell good, but I had no idea their full potential or why they were a good option. So when I was first introduced, I just loved the simplicity of them. We used all kinds of natural healthcare, and the simplicity of the oils is that you open the bottle and you're using and getting benefit. We even, grew herbs and made tinctures and all kinds of things like that, which I still love and have a passion for the herbal world. But the oils just make things simple and easy and very straightforward and very powerful. So they really speak to me, and they speak to everyone that I talk to or share them with because they're so easy to use. Their availability, I love how accessible they are. Once I stocked up with a few oils, I realized that anytime anything came up, I just had something immediately. You know, having lavender, anytime a boo-boo happens or a cut or a scrape or a burn or whatever, lavender is just handy, it's on my shelf and ready to go. And I don't have to go get a special cream. And we usually don't even need a Band-Aid, because once we put the oils on, everybody is comforted in the same way that they would be if we normally would have put a Band-Aid on. And also, of course, it's a much better treatment because we're not just literally putting a Band-Aid on it. We are actually doing something healthily beneficial. They're very easy to share. It's easy to talk about how great peppermint is, because you open the bottle, if you have your peppermint with you, open it up and just take a whiff, because it's just so invigorating. And no one can deny that. It was one of my favorite things to take the Absolute Skeptic and have them put a drop of peppermint oil on their hands and rub it together, and then just inhale a deep breath, because that is overwhelming, clears your airways. People will immediately feel much clearer. People who are congested, or just, it takes their breath away almost. So, or restores their breath. I don't know what the right definition is or description, but anyway, so we love that. And they're safe for everyone. We use them on all the people in our family. I think that it was minutes before my youngest had essential oils on. Particularly frankincense and myrrh, it just seemed appropriate. And we we use them for everything. And the way that they are safe for everyone is super important. Several solutions for any need. So we never felt like, we were limited to just using lavender for something. If we didn't feel like we were getting the results that we wanted, we could easily try something else and not be risking an interaction or anything like that. It just was a simple thing. We can, a lot of times, even now, stand at the shelf and sort of try 8 or 10 different things before I hit on the right one, the one that really speaks to me or seems to have the right effect. And most of all, the reason that we were drawn to doTERRA is the way that these oils work. And my really big testimony is that we had, like I said, maybe 10 to 12 oils from other companies just on our shelves that we'd acquired over the years. And there were some we used very consistently, but for the most part, we just kept them on the shelf and didn't really touch them. And one of them in particular, we had tried tea tree with another brand, an organic brand. And it actually seemed to burn my baby who had diaper rash when we used it. And so I never come back to it, even though the rash was kind of a yeasty rash. And I knew that tea tree was supposed to be good for that. It's antifungal and can be really good for those kinds of things. But it seemed to burn them. And so I wouldn't put it on her anymore. Well, when I was introduced to doTERRA, the set that I ordered came with a bottle of Melaleuca, which is tea tree in a very pure format. And I had a new baby with the same diaper rash suddenly arose. And so I was all worried that it was going to be the end of our cloth diapering experience. And, how was I going to get rid of it and all these different things. Well, I took that Melaleuca and I applied it. There was no kind of reaction. The child was not writhing or screaming about how it burned. I applied it directly and the rash was gone overnight. And it didn't come back either. We made some wipes that had Melaleuca and lavender in it, and so that rash just never returned, which was a really huge experience for me because I just was like, wow. At first I thought I was just doing a favor in ordering these oils, but that was my first experience where I was like, yeah, these are definitely different. So anyway, that's sort of my first experience with doTERRA that I love to share, because even though it seems such a simple thing, that experience has happened again and again for me. So this picture I included because for us, modern medicine is a great option. It's nice to know it's out there. However, we don't use it very often anymore. We just don't need to. We don't come to that. And it's not that we don't believe that modern medicine has a place. We do. We just have felt like we've been able to kind of take control of the situation in most cases. And I think there are a few holes in modern medicine. You probably agree for the most part. A lot of times people take drugs that they come with so many side effects. It's just risky one way or the other. When you take a medication, you often have to assume risks, and you trade one symptom for maybe another symptom. And with all the commercials, we know there's a long list of things that might happen if you take any kind of medication, including Addiction is a huge one that I think goes under talked about. But so modern medicine is something we've tried to avoid. You know, anything that I've taken over the years, for whether it's sinus infections or whatever, they make you feel really weird for the most part. And it's just something I'd rather live without. So even before doTERRA, I was trying my hardest to just not take those things because I didn't like how they made me feel. And the relief of the one symptom, it wasn't enough for me. The other thing that I don't love about modern healthcare is a lot of times we skip some steps and we offer a drug to deal with an issue that could be dealt with more at the root cause. So for example, if you have a headache, it's better to look at the cause of that and deal with that cause instead of just masking it, like I was talking about with the Band-Aid, and putting a medication on it to soothe it temporarily, because what that does is it suppresses that issue and you're never going to get rid of it. So those headaches may come back again and again and again. And so not just with the oils, but through doTERRA, I've been so well educated in how our bodies function. And how the oils work is a little bit different. So the next slide here talks about balance. And I think it's important that we remember that balance is really the right answer for everybody. Our bodies are designed perfectly and are created to heal and to, do what they're supposed to do. So when we use a medication, it kind of masks what's the problem and doesn't get to the root of that problem. And for some things, it's diet. For some things, it's exercise and activity. And for some things, it's sleep. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But when we don't address the root issues, then we can't find actual healing. And so when you look at more holistic options, and it could be anything, visiting a chiropractor helps get your body in alignment so that it functions appropriately. Even acupuncture and homeopathic options, and they all are triggers for our body to do what it's supposed to do naturally. And that's exactly where essential oils fall. So that is something that we need to think about just in terms of overhauling our health. If we can not just get off of medications, but maybe just avoid even needing them by getting to the root issue. And so that's where doTERRA enters. So doTERRA offer us an opportunity to be prepared for situations and also to be empowered to deal with situations and to learn about how to get our body to do the things that we want it to do that it might not be doing on its own. So one simple thing, an example of how doTERRA is here for me on a regular basis, like if some kind of emergency pops up. If a child, for example, decides to grab a hot pan, I've got lavender on hand, like I've talked about. If somebody wakes up in the middle of the night coughing, I've got Breathe, and we're going to talk more about the specific oils in a minute, but I've got Breathe to turn on in the diffuser at night or put on the bottoms of her feet, and I don't have to run and get a cough syrup from something that's open 24 hours. And also, just that ability to be able to calm moods and things like that in a simple and easy way makes a mom feel very empowered. And even for my own self, there are simple things that I do on a daily basis to improve my health that are so easy, like using grapefruit in my water. Tastes amazing. It makes me drink more water because I like the flavor of it better. But it's also a great detoxifier, and it also it stimulates my body to release more serotonin, which I need to help calm down. So there's lots of different things that the oils are good for in that way. And for me, as I experienced the oils more and more, my mind really was blown. And I really was, it was just every day I learned something new about how the oils work or how some of our supplements work and how they're the perfect way to balance out our bodies. And I hear a different story about how somebody was able to, eliminate, some kind of a prescription from using an oil. And it's just mind blowing every time you think, wow, that's an amazing story, and it fuels you to go on and share more. So this is what What I love most about oils, or about doTERRA essential oils, first of all, is our love for the farmers, because we treat our farmers amazing, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But the oils, how they work, is the second thing, because I've tried, like I said, oils that don't work, and most of the ones on the market, I will say, are like that. I really was trying to buy good quality oils. Unfortunately, the industry is just a little their standards are low, and it's just how things are. So when you try doTERRA and you compare it to other, and a really good example is if you're using peppermint essential oil. When you use peppermint, we have always kind of put it in baths for respiratory support, and we had another brand of peppermint essential oil that we were using, and we would have to put 15 drops in a bath to get that effect of clearing out your airways. But if you use 15 drops of doTERRA, you'd have to evacuate the bathroom because it would be too strong. So like maybe 2 or 3 drops of peppermint in a bath, if not less than that, honestly, would be plenty. And that just speaks to the purity. And again, that's something I experience every time I use the oils. I'm blown away by their quality and potency. Okay, and then education and support is another huge thing with doTERRA. You don't have to shop the shelves. You don't have to Google. You don't have to come up with random ideas about how to use the oils. It comes with a community of support, and it comes with a company that is founded on research and science, and continuing to up the world's understanding of the potential of essential oils. And that's something that also blows my mind all the time. Every time we go to a corporate event, I'm just in awe of how much doTERRA has done to really not just educate us, but to educate the world. And they're really working on reaching out to the medical professionals as well, so that medical professionals feel equipped with these oils to actually do something and to work, and to know that they are going to work, and why they work, and all of those things. So while I continue the rest of the class, I want you to think about what your top 3 health concerns might be, or your goals. You know, it could be something like weight loss. It could be something for mood, stress, anxiety. It could be something, we've got allergies and pollen floating around right now. It could be something for somebody else. Your mom gets headaches, or your daughter has respiratory issues. Maybe somebody is dealing with hormone imbalance. Think about those things, and maybe even write them down somewhere. Take some notes, because I'm going to cover several different oils, and hopefully you'll hear a few that might help deal with those issues. And then after the class, of course, I'm not going to be able to hit on every possible ailment. You're welcome to ask me for detailed and personal recommendations that are right for you. It is my goal to make sure that you not only can I help you with that, but I can help you find the right resources, or trustworthy resources, to make you automatically an essential oil expert. You do not have to memorize everything I say tonight. This is going to be it's a process of learning, and having the tools is key. So we will share those with you, and at the end of the class, some of those resources as well. So what are essential oils? This is a magnified view of the sacs of oil found on peppermint. Once you pop them by rubbing it or using distillation methods like we do to get them in the bottles, the volatile aromatic compounds are released, and their aroma and therapeutic benefit is as well. So when we bottle these oils, we have a super potent version of the plant's natural immune system. Peppermint, for example, is equivalent. 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that's a super potent dosage. It means we need just a tiny amount of oil to reap the healthful benefits. And peppermint supports things like the digestive system, whether you're dealing with an upset stomach, or it could be constipation or diarrhea. What peppermint tries to go in and get some balance going on, instead of just suppressing one function or the other. It also aids in healthy respiratory function, and has been studied and found to increase our ability to absorb oxygen, which can be invigorating, but also is useful in other situations, like if somebody's struggling to breathe. Also for athletes, who, when you increase oxygen absorption, you actually can outperform yourself and that's a really neat thing. It helps relieve tension. You could apply it to the back of your neck. When I have a headache, I apply it to my temples. A 15 milliliter of peppermint essential oil has about 250 drops of essential oil, making it pennies per drop. So, and that's true of all of our essential oils. If they come in a 15 milliliter, there are approximately 250 drops in each of those bottles. So that's like 250 doses per bottle. So when you're looking at the prices, you got to keep that in mind. And you're welcome to, on a separate tab, open up our product list and take a look. The prices are what they are, and I'm not here to make any claims about how inexpensive they are. They're worth every penny that you pay for them, but you also, 250 drops in one bottle equals a lot of healing. Okay, so essential oils are tiny molecules that absorb into our system very, very easily. Our cells have a protective fatty layer that welcomes essential oils and allows them to enter into our bloodstream very quickly. They work where they're needed. So, for example, if there's a virus in our cell, inside our cell is where viruses live and thrive and do their damage. Then the essential oils can enter and support our antibodies in fighting off these threats, which is different than a medication because most medications actually can't cross that outer fatty layer because that fatty layer specifically is there to help defend the cell against intruders and unknown substances. So if the threat is on the outside of the cell, like a bacteria would be, that essential oil will help support your immune system there. Without those side effects and the trauma synthetic medications and potentially antibiotics can pose. So it's just something that you want to think about. Of course, we want to fight off bacteria, and antibiotics have saved a lot of lives and continue to do so. But we do have some natural antibiotics that are super potent and powerful at our disposal. And if we could rely more on those and less on those synthetic versions, then we'll be better off. The cool thing about plants and natural medicines is they adapt over time to different threats. And our synthetic versions can't do that. So when we have an isolated ingredient, that's whether it be an antibiotic or any kind of drug or even an immunization, over time those viruses and those bacteria outsmart those drugs, and we have to, as science and researchers creating that, we have to go in and try to figure out how to overcome that. But with the oils, the plants themselves adapt over time. So it's really neat to be able to harness that. Okay, so backing up just a bit, we're going to talk about quality here. This target just gives you an idea of what the industry looks like. The gray part is the perfume or the industrial cleaners, even things that we put on our skin, whether it's shampoos or air fresheners. The synthetics are highly prevalent, and you walk through the grocery store or the mall or whatever, and you're bombarded by these different smells. And those are all synthetic and actually quite bad for you. They're toxic. And it's just like any other ingredient, that's toxic. They put it in there to smell good and maybe mask other smells, but it's really not something that you would want to expose yourself to if you didn't have to. And then moving on, we have the food and the GRAS standard, which just means generally regarded as safe for internal consumption. And unfortunately, that falls those food flavorings and scents or whatever. It's like a vanilla extract imitation vanilla extract. Or if you get peppermint ice cream, there's not really peppermint in there. It's just a peppermint flavoring or gums or whatever you think about that has these flavorings. And they're very similar to a food dye or a preservative or something like that. Again, something that you don't really want to eat because there's no nutritional value, first of all, but it's also something that your body doesn't digest and doesn't offer any kind of nutrition. And in the same time, it confuses your body. So it doesn't know how to process it right. So, therapeutic grade is what you would find in health food store, and it's created to have a health benefit. Unfortunately, the industry is very skewed, and they do a lot to concoct these therapeutic oils so that they're less expensive, using ingredients from all different kinds of sources, also diluting heavily, usually pretty much all of the oils I've tried before doTERRA. I can tell just by using them, they're diluted. And often they'll say on the bottle, diluted, and it's when you read 100% pure therapeutic grade, you just assume and you don't read the back, and when you flip it around, you're like, wait a minute, this is 97% alcohol, what in the world? But it's true, and when you do a little bit of checking on that, it gets a little frustrating. So when doTERRA developed their company, it was in 2008, and they saw that the market was lacking in a essential oil that actually held the potential in terms of health benefits that really existed. And so they said, okay, we're going to start a new company, and it's going to be founded on this notion that pure essential oils are not only a super effective and powerful way for people to take charge of their own health, but they also are something that, if they were created in the right way, could be healthfully beneficial and used even in research and in more medical environments. And so that's been one of their goals all along, to get the oils in the hands of every single person in the world, know that they have a product that's going to work every time like it has in the past, and also to be able to cross those boundaries between natural healthcare and modern medicine, so that those two worlds can kind of collide. And I really love what they're doing there. Another thing about our oils is that they're sourced from the place where they should be grown, and where they grow in a very indigenous way. So instead of trying to grow peppermint in North Carolina, where, you know, it grows okay, but it doesn't grow as well as it does out in Washington State, or lavender, for example. I've tried to grow lavender a lot, and it never really lasts for very long without amending the soil and adding all special kinds of things to try to mimic what it likes to grow in, which is kind of rocky soil in the mountains and cool air and all these different things. So it grows really well in France, and it grows really well in Bulgaria, just naturally without those amendments. And it also, when it is grown that way, it produces a product that is much more healthfully beneficial. A really great example of that that most people can wrap their heads around is if you went and bought a tomato, even right now from the grocery store. They're getting a little bit better, but maybe in February you bought a tomato. We still have some in the back of our fridge that somebody brought over, and they're still good from February. They still look perfectly edible. However, I have very high standards in terms of tomatoes because we grow a lot of our own tomatoes. And those tomatoes are not like real tomatoes. They're not like picking a tomato off the vine in August or July. It's a different experience. And the nutrition that's found in the tomato that we pick from our backyard in July is totally different and superior to something that we would buy on the grocery store shelves in February. So that is something to keep in mind too, because the oils themselves, sure, you could have lavender oil, but if the lavender was harvested at the wrong time or from the wrong plant, the wrong species, that was grown in the wrong region, it's not going to have the same health benefits that doTERRA'S does. Something else that doTERRA does to ensure the quality of our oils, and this is huge, is our co-impact sourcing. And this is something that you really need to think about, because when we are using this plant material, and essential oils are very concentrated, we're using a lot of plant material. So we need to be especially cautious about how it's grown and make sure that we're doing the right thing for the environment, and also that we're doing the right thing for the people who are doing crafting and growing these things. And so doTERRA has actually set up an amazing network of farms across the world, and we work directly with farmers and set up contracts and help them set up co-ops so that they know that they're going to have a sustainable income. And we also teach them how to grow the oils or the plants in a very sustainable format so that we know we're going to have access to these oils for years to come, and the people there will as well, and their native environment will not be depleted. And there's plenty of examples where that is not what's happened, and the rainforest is being cut down to grow corn and soy and wheat and all of these things. And doTERRA is really coming into places like that where the land has so much to offer of these native plants, and working with these farmers who have been doing this for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and setting up so that they have a sustainable economy based on the farming, which is what they want to do. And this is a picture of some of the women in Nepal who actually go out and wildcraft wintergreen straight out of the forest. And it's an amazing opportunity for them to earn a steady income and be able to have put food on their table and get their kids in school and all kinds of things. It's a really powerful thing that we have when we purchase essential oils from doTERRA, an impact on the world globally like that. But it also ensures the quality of our product, because the people who are working from the very beginning are doing it in a artisanal kind of way. Okay, so certified pure therapeutic grade is the CPTG that doTERRA came up with, that's above and beyond what else was on the market. I first thought it was a gimmick, but it is the angle that doTERRA used to start their company, because it makes a big difference whether all of these different processes have been ignored or scrutinized. The oils doTERRA offers are always as pure, safe, and effective as the first bottle you fell in love with, and their scents are clean and unadulterated, and their potency is very reliable. One of my favorite things is this new website called Source to You, and I encourage you to go to that website when you have a chance, because first of all, it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful website, but you get to there's so much to explore there. But you can take any given bottle of doTERRA's essential oil and look up the GCMS report, which is their quality assurance reports. So you type in the lot number on the bottom of your bottle, and it takes you to the report from each of the oils that you purchase. This is such a cool tool. It's so amazing to have that kind of transparency. And it's one of those things where there's only a few other companies I've seen doing this, where we get to kind of meet the farmers when we use the product. One example of that is coffee. Well, a lot of times fair trade coffee, or there's one in particular that I really like, that you can scan the QR code and go and meet the farmer who grew your coffee. I think that's the coolest thing ever, and doTERRA has set that up almost exactly the same. It's one of my favorite things. So Source to You is a great website where you can learn all about how we're sourcing our oils and the quality reports as well. You can watch some really fun videos and kind of meet our farmers in person. Okay, so now we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of how to use your oils, and they can be found the next thing I want to show you is this picture. These little letters help you know how you can use your oils. Aromatically, topically, and internally. And the bottles all say, and we also have some other charts and resources, like our catalog has a chart of the oils, and it says how each of these can be used, and that can be found online and in some of the resource books that we use. But just keep in mind, aromatically, topically, and internally. So I talked about peppermint a little bit. That's an example of one that can be used all three ways. So using oils aromatically is simple. Opening the bottle is the first step. So you open that bottle and you breathe it in, and it gets straight into your brain. The hypothalamus is right there inside your nose, which goes to the pituitary system and the neurochemistry system throughout your body. So it's a direct connection to your mood and your hormones, and all of these different things that are right there inside your nasal cavity. So using the oils aromatically is super powerful. When you breathe it in, it gets in your lungs, and then it gets distributed through your bloodstream as well. So it's a super potent way to get the benefits. It can open up your respiratory system, all kinds of things. Our brains are actually directly connected inside our noses and straight into some powerful hormone-producing areas. These are some other reasons to use. It opens your airways. Using a diffuser is a super effective way to use oils aromatically. Using a cool mist diffuser is your best option. There are a couple others that are atomizers, and they distribute the oils really well into a fine mist into the air, so that they distribute very evenly into the molecules of the air. And when they do that, they actually break down germs and toxins and things in the air. So it's smart to use a diffuser in your environment, in your home environment, maybe your office as well. It also opens airways, great for the mood. It helps with focus when you diffuse. It can help with depression. It can help with anxiety, all kinds of things. So diffusing is great. It's hard to walk into a room where a diffuser is running and not feel like you just walked into a spa. So, okay, so now using the oils topically. You will want to use some caution. with some of the oils. For example, oregano can be a hot oil, and it needs to be diluted to be used topically. It has kind of a spicy sensation if you don't dilute it. So it can cause irritation, but it's irritation that generally goes away if you go over it with a dilution. So it's not like a risk. It's just something you would want to avoid for comfort. Like if you ate spicy food, you just want to be careful. Some are more sensitive than others. Babies and small children, of course, do not like that, just like they don't like spicy food. And some elderly who have more sensitive skin. So diluting could be something that you do more for those kinds of people. You can test an area and dilute as necessary. You can use any carrier you like. Fractionated coconut oil is great. Applying the carrier oil after an essential oil has been shown to be an irritant is a perfect way to get rid of that sensation, that uncomfortable sensation. Some other suggestions for using them topically: you can apply it to the head, to the feet, to the ears, chest, wherever the issue is. If you have tension, and put it on your temples or on the back of your neck. If you apply the oils to the bottoms of your feet, it does enter your bloodstream very quickly. So if there's an oil you're not sure about, especially on children, applying to the feet is great. It stimulates a lot of reflex points at the same time. And that area is not very sensitive. And also, if you don't like the smell that you're working with, there are several oils I don't like the smell of. So if I want to use and get the benefits, I'll put them on the bottom of my feet. Use with massage, dilute to stretch and increase absorption. So diluting essential oils is always a great idea, especially ours because they're so pure. So taking a carrier and putting 1 to 2 drops, maybe a tablespoon of carrier oil, 1 to 2 drops of essential oil, and using that as you need. You can get roller bottles like pictured there and use those to make it really easy to apply oils topically. And now doTERRA has a whole line of oils in the touch format, which means they're pre-diluted in these roller bottles and super convenient and easy to use for topical use. And also when you dilute, you absorb more because it holds the very volatile essential oils on your skin for longer, spreads it over further distance, and it dilutes so that you're getting more bang for your buck. Okay, so next, these are some symbols that you can look for when you're talking about using the oils topically. When you see an N, it means you can use it neat or directly on your skin. You can dilute when you see an S for sensitive skin. And then when you see the D, you're more likely going to dilute for every single person that you use it on. Okay, so now talking about using the oils internally. This is very specific to doTERRA. I would not recommend you use other products internally. Slim and Sassy is a great example of something that you take internally on a regular basis, and this girl has just put it in her water and drinks it that way. Drew, my husband, does this every day. He puts it in. It's a great detoxifier and a great way to balance out your metabolism. So it's a simple tool. You can also get a gel cap of our Slim and Sassy pre-made or make your own gel caps. Some reasons to use the oils internally: to target wellness of the digestive system, the mouth, the throat, the liver, the urogenital tract. And then we've got this image I thought was really great of all the different ways you can take our essential oils internally. A drop under the tongue, I've been known to do that. Fennel is one. It helps curb sugar cravings, so I'll put that right under my tongue, and it's sweet. It tastes good. My kids like the taste of it too. Digestin is another one for stomach troubles that I'll put right under my tongue. You can get empty capsules from doTERRA or other places and use it that way. Add it to water. Make your own recipes. So yeah, lots of different ways and reasons to use the essential oils internally. Okay, so now to what I think is the funnest part of the class. We're going to talk about specific oils for specific things. So peppermint, we've already talked about a great deal. Amazing for headaches, amazing for digestion, amazing for respiratory stuff, allergies. So peppermint is just one of those invigorating oils. It's a staple. It's really one of the things that you probably, once you have, use the most of. Okay, digestin is for stomach issues, any kind of stomach trouble. It could be, motion sickness. So we take it when we travel all the time. Apply it straight to the belly button or under the tongue. We do have a great capsule with it already in there. So for people with more serious stomach issues, digestin has offered amazing relief for people who have even more extreme difficult digestive problems. So digestion is amazing. And also, ironically, it's also really good if somebody has a lingering cough. It helps to break up some of that congestion and help people digest that and process it out. So digestion has multiple great uses. So lemon is an amazing and simple oil. Another one that's great for allergies, combined with peppermint and lavender. It's a great cleaner. It's super cleansing for our bodies, also for counters. You can use it in your sink. It is antibacterial, what's the word? Antibacterial. I can't think of it right now. Of course, it's fleeting, but super good for cleaning surfaces. It smells amazing too. Very uplifting, aromatic. Great for cutting through grease and through grime and through sticky bits and that kind of thing. Love lemon. Tastes amazing too, and water is really good. Okay, so doTERRA Breathe is our respiratory blend. Now remember, in a live class, if you haven't been to one already, we pass these oils around. You get to smell all of them and experience them. And some of them you love, and some of them you may not. But experiencing them is really the key. So I can talk about them all day long and talk about how wonderful they are. But you're going to need to get your hands on them in real life too. Okay, so doTERRA Breathe is super good for respiratory stuff. Any kind of, congestion, coughing, snoring even. Diffusing Breathe at night while you're sleeping can be so helpful for people who don't sleep very well. A lot of times it's a breathing issue, and so just diffusing Breathe can help make that issue go away and really improve sleep, which is one of the keys to feeling better overall. So Deep Blue is an amazing, it's called our soothing blend. It's amazing for aches and pains. It could be joint pain, muscle pain, if you tear something or move the wrong way, or maybe people who have lingering joint pain. It's amazing. And we have it in the Deep Blue, the oil itself, and then we also have it in a rub, which is amazing. So the rub is just like a lotion with the Deep Blue already mixed in, and it goes on really super nice and smooth, and offers tremendous relief. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. Oregano. I mentioned it's a great antibiotic. I think I mentioned earlier, maybe not, but notice all here we've got those symbols I was talking about. You can use it aromatically, topically, internally, and then you would want to dilute this one. It's a hotter oil that you would always want to dilute. But if I ever feel anything coming on in my sinuses, I dilute it and apply it over my sinuses or on the bottoms of my feet. And really, just using it proactively so that I don't ever get to the point of needing to go to a doctor and get a prescription. It's huge. And it's just, we haven't had to go to a pediatrician even since before my third child was born, and she's 6. So anyway, that's pretty good. Pretty cool. And think about all those bills that we've avoided along the way. It's very cleansing. It's an amazing detoxifier, and it helps eliminate these toxins that are built up in our system. So oregano is a really good thing to, if you need to do a cleanse, oregano is a huge part of our cleanse protocol. Melaleuca is simple, gentle. It's kind of like the little sister to oregano, has a lot of the same properties. Very good for all kinds of different things. Wound care. It's really great for allergies. It's great for respiratory system. It's great for cleaning too. Healthy immune function. Yeah, if anybody faces viral threat or anything like that, we'll add Melaleuca. Throat issues in particularly, we'll gargle with Melaleuca or apply it directly to the outside of the throat if the throat is sore. Works amazing. Lavender. Interestingly enough, I was very apprehensive about lavender when I started with doTERRA because all the other lavenders that I'd had actually usually gave me a headache. So I was pretty sure I just didn't like lavender. But then I was introduced to doTERRA lavender, obviously a new, different product, and it took me a while to warm up to it and to actually try it, but it actually helps relieve my headaches in a lot of situations. It actually is good for nausea. It was one of the ones I used the most when I was pregnant. And it is one we use the most here because my 6-year-old is prone to accidents. So lavender always saves the day. As long as we have it, and she may get hurt, and we just put lavender on it and it's like vanishes. So we love it. It helps. It's also great for stress relief. For sleep, it's amazing. Apply it to your feet before bed. You can make a room spray with it or diffuse it. Love lavender. Okay, On Guard, another huge one. This is their protective blend, which is magnificent for anytime anybody is feeling badly. We put it on. I actually use it a ton. It helps me to just feel protected. So if I go out into a place where I'm around a lot of people who may or may not be sick, especially this time of year, I put it on behind my ears. I put it on my hands. We make a hand sanitizer spray with it. It's just water or witch hazel and On Guard. Super simple, but none of those bad things that are in the Purell or whatever that strip your hands and super harsh for your skin. We love it, and it smells so good. And we diffuse it in our diffusers constantly. When I get on a plane, I put it on. You name it, we use it like crazy. And it tastes good too. We actually have an amazing toothpaste with On Guard in it. It's great for oral health, so just getting it that way, we get that daily dose of immune support while we're brushing our teeth. So frankincense. If you haven't smelled our frankincense, it's amazing. If you haven't smelled frankincense at all, it's one of those things everyone has heard of, right? But it's not something that we all have, which is ironic because we think about silver and gold, and everybody knows what those are and uses them. But frankincense is not just something that, and myrrh are things that, most modern households are not accustomed to having. And they're just as important, if not more so, than the silver and the gold. Because if we don't have health, what do we have? So frankincense is still as valuable as it was back then. And it comes from Somalia. And it's amazing. It's very grounding and comforting, but also great for inflammation and joint pain and headaches. It's my go-to for headaches. I apply it on my temples with peppermint, sometimes on the roof of my mouth, sometimes on the top of my head. If I'm feeling anxious, then a lot of times I'll put it on my forehead and on the top of my head and just take a minute to take some deep breaths, and it just grounds and calms me. I love it so much. Okay, so frankincense has some really amazing cellular rejuvenation properties too. Very good for skin and for eliminating spots and things like that. This is an example of a popular blend this time of year. People will put this together in a capsule and take it internally when they're feeling maybe, they've been exposed to the flu, or somebody in the house has the flu, or they're feeling like maybe they're coming down with the flu. And it's so easy. You just put a couple of drops in a capsule and you pop it and take that maybe every hour, every 3 hours, depending on how you feel. When I was exposed and had the flu a couple of years ago, I did this and it was gone within 12 hours. I want to say at least 24 hours I was over it. And I was hitting this very hard, doing it maybe every hour or so, maybe every 2 hours. And it's super powerful. It works really well. Conveniently now, doTERRA has put together this great pre-made version. It's called On Guard Plus. It's got a lot of those same things in it, plus Melissa and I think black pepper, which are great antivirals. And it's just a super great option. And this is something that's convenient. You can kind of keep it in your purse whenever you need it, when you might be exposed to it. You can just take it and use it and be good to go. It's a nice small size capsule. It's about the size of like a vitamin E capsule, if you're familiar with that. So really convenient and easy way to take the oils and get your hands on them. Okay, so giving nature a second chance. Maybe you're struggling. There's a lot of pollen out there on our cars, and now it's piling up in our pond in the corners and in parking lots. I've seen puddles full of pollen, and it's just a rough time of year. Of course, it is nice to have these three. This combination of oils is magnificent for dealing with seasonal issues. So You can diffuse them. You can make a roller bottle and apply them topically. You could just layer them and use one on top of the other topically. Behind your ears would be a good spot. On pulse points, like on your wrists, might be a good spot. Over your heart, where you're going to kind of breathe that in. But you can also take it internally and make a capsule like that last suggestion. Or you can get our Tri-Ease and use this internally, and it works really, really well. My husband has been able, Drew's been able to not have to take an over-the-counter option for the last few years because of this. And you take it just when you feel the threat bothering you, and it helps. And in fact, we gave it to somebody the other day who he came in to do some work on our house, and his eyes were beet red. And within 30 minutes of taking it, his eyes were cleared up. And then later the day, he called my husband and said, "I'm going to need to order some of that." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it really helped your allergies." And he's like, "Well, more than that, it just took my stress level way, way down." So one of my favorite parts about the oils is you use them for one thing and you notice benefits on other things as well, because the oils are all about trying to establish balance, and there's no like side effects or risky things to them that you have to worry about. So it's just a nice, you just have to use them. Sorry. Okay. All right. So this little thing, I just wanted to cover it really quickly, because you can't expect that, you don't live a healthy lifestyle and expect the oils to come in and fix everything. If you have issues that are more severe, like diabetes or high cholesterol or whatever, you can't just take an oil and expect that to disappear. You have to take some other steps. And this pyramid gives you an idea of what that looks like. And obviously we know we have to eat right, we have to exercise, we have to rest and manage stress. And something I like to point out is that I think this pyramid just needs to be a block at the bottom. Those three need to be equal, because eating right and exercising and resting and manage stress are all equivalent. You have to do all of those things. It's not really more important to do eating right than exercising, and they're equivalent. So one of the things that I like to point out with the oils is it's so simple. It's really hard to start eating right. It just is hard to overhaul your diet, especially for a lot of people, they may be addicted or have attachments to foods, and it's hard to say, just don't eat that. That's just a hard thing. Exercise is kind of the same. If you don't have time, I'm a busy mom. I don't really have time. I can't really see where to fit exercise in. In fact, I desperately want to do yoga, but it's very difficult for me to find where to put that in. Resting and managing stress, however, I know I've dedicated at least 8 hours to sleeping at night. And stress is something that I'm faced with, so I need to find tools to deal with that. And so I feel like that's honestly the easiest place for people to get started, especially since the release of Serenity, the Restful Complex. So we have the essential oil blend. This is a complex, an herbal complex that you take alongside that if you want. I take 2 of these every night, and it has really overhauled my feeling when I wake up of just feeling completely rejuvenated. It's also helped me balance hormones, because I sleep more thoroughly, and your hormones reset during the night when you're sleeping. So this little bottle right here, I feel like is a really easy way for people to get access to overhauling that bottom trio, because if you feel more rested, you're more likely to exercise, and you're also more likely to eat right, and your stress is more likely to be managed, and all of those things start to fall into place. So I love the oils because they're kind of a gateway into this whole new revolution of healthcare, and this whole new revolution of us taking back our health in a simple format. So Serenity Restful Complex, I have to plug that because I love it so much. Okay, so I also have to plug our supplements, because if you're not getting good supplements, if you're not getting good nutrition, you're not going to feel good no matter what. There's only so much the oils can do to fill in those holes. You need to have fish oil. You need to have some filling in some holes. Even if you eat super healthy, our diets just are lacking because our lettuce is shipped in from Mexico, or if it's picked a week ago even, it's depleted in nutrition that you would have gotten if you'd picked it out of your backyard. And, 100 years ago, we didn't have access to vegetables from, hundreds and thousands of miles away. We ate it immediately. So these are perfectly balanced to work not only together, but also to be perfectly absorbable in our body. So we get the perfect balance of things to work together in these food-based supplements that are 100% bioavailable to our system. So we're not just taking a multivitamin that we then pee out or eliminate in one way or another. We actually absorb these, and it does good for our body. So this 3 trio set is amazing. It's a daily set. You take 2 of each in the morning and 2 of each in the afternoon. I actually do a half-C dose. And then sometimes when I'm not feeling good, or when I feel like I've maybe need some extra immune support or whatever, I'll double it up. But they're a great supplement that you really should try. Lots of studies on those, but that's all I'm going to get into today. Terrazyme is one more supplement that I wanted to cover because it's something that when we don't eat enough fruits and vegetables raw, which we don't, nobody does, as soon as you cook it, and like I said, if it's been picked a while ago, these enzymes that are in that raw fruit and vegetable decompose and they lose they're kind of the first thing to go. So if you don't eat them fast and get them raw, then you're going to not get those enzymes. And if you don't get those enzymes, your food can't be broken down in your stomach so that you absorb more nutrition. Or that you absorb nutrition appropriately. A lot of times people have issues like eczema or allergies, food intolerances, things like that. And this Terrazyme can help tremendously because it helps us break down our food so that we can process and eliminate them the way that we should and absorb the nutrition at the same time. And what happens is when people have even breathing issues, that is your body trying to eliminate things through the wrong outlets. Not through the liver and the kidneys and out where it should go, but out through, the lungs and the skin. Those are some, they're backup chimneys is what they're called. So if you have issues like that or you know people who do, the Terrazyme can be an amazing opportunity to eliminate those issues. And people with gallbladder issues, Terrazyme it works miracles. So definitely worth a try. Okay, so now I'm going to shift gears and we're going to talk quickly about how to get your hands on the product. So wholesale membership is $35. Most people actually do that way because there comes with a lot of benefits and it's just that $35. There's no obligations to order. But as you use the oils, you'll probably naturally start sharing with other people. And in doing that, you can actually earn a lot of free products. So it's a really good option to set up a wholesale account. Just really quickly, I'm going to show you this next slide. Don't be overwhelmed. You don't have to read through everything. But on the one side, we've got what the retail, you're empowering yourself and your family with safe and natural alternatives. You're supporting your favorite local doTERRA representative and supporting co-impact sustainable farms and farmers and buying the best oils on the market. Those are some huge perks. But if you set up in a wholesale account, you get all of that plus all of these other things, which is 25% off retail. No obligation for future or monthly purchases. It comes free with enrollment kits. You have an opportunity to earn back free products. So all of this comes along with a wholesale account. And it is super simple. Setting up a wholesale account with doTERRA is a lot like setting up a Prime account with Amazon, only much cheaper. But you do get your own back office where you go in and order whenever you want to, just like when you log into Prime, same idea. And you do have an opportunity to earn back a percentage in free products. So anyone that's just starting out generally starts at earning 10% back on their order. So if they order, say 100 one month, they'd get $10 back to spend on products in the future. And then that builds over the course of a year up to 30% back. So anyone that orders, for me, I order at least 100 every month. I get my shampoo and my conditioner and my face cleaner and all of my facial line of products, and our oils, of course, that we need to replenish, and our toothpaste, and you name it. We also get the protein shake. I mean, there's just so many great products. It's like saving us a trip to the grocery store, and we get 30% back on that. So $30 in free products on every 100 that we spend. So that's really a very generous program and a really great way to help kind of ease into this wholeness wellness lifestyle, holistic wellness lifestyle, and save money at the same time. Okay, we have some pre-made kits to help getting started, help everyone get started. They're simple, easy. They come with a really good variety of products so that you don't have to pick and choose a few random things. Now, maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe you know very specifically what you want to use oils for, and that's fine, and we are here to help you pick exactly what's right for you. But most people actually do start with a kit just because they're so simple, and they do come with an added discount. Once you have a kit, no matter which one you decide to start with, you will have something in your inventory for almost every single thing that pops up. So it may not be, exactly the right oil that it lists in the book, but there's something for everything. So this is the dive-in kit. the Natural Solutions Kit. It includes our most used oils. It includes a fast track on that little chart I just showed you, so you start earning at 15 instead of at 10%. It includes our supplements. It does include the diffuser, the Aroma Light diffuser, for free, which is huge. We love this diffuser. It's very compact and easy to take with you, and it runs for up to 8 hours. And it's the longest lasting diffuser I've owned too, and I've bought a lot of different diffusers, so we've tried a lot of different ones. It also comes with a Deep Blue Rub and our On Guard foaming hand soap and 2 pumps for that, the TerraZyme I just talked about, a really good variety of oils. I just love this set. And what you can't see is when you start with this set, you actually get in your second month, if you order $100 worth of products, they give you $100 worth of credit to buy whatever you want. So that's like an additional $100 off for free products to get whatever you want in addition to this kit. So that's my favorite starting point, especially because of that hidden $100 in product credits. It's just a really great place to start. Okay, so the next set, and this is our jump-in kit. This one we call the Home Essentials Kit. So this has all the top 10 oils. I reviewed all of these tonight. There's an additional savings on top of wholesale of $86, and it comes with the diffuser. So one of the first things you're going to want to have when you get started is that diffuser, a diffuser. You probably want more than one shortly after you get your oils, because one never really makes a lot of sense. But you will love the set. It's something for everything. Our top 10 oils for sure. And when we replenish oils, it's usually one of these ones. We really use these ones the most. Just a really quick, though, I didn't talk about. So lemon we go through really quickly. People always ask, how long does a bottle last? Lemon we go through pretty quickly, but it's about $10 wholesale a bottle. So, maybe a bottle of lemon a month, because we put it in our water and we clean with it and all kinds of stuff. But then frankincense, we don't go through nearly as much of. I do use it a lot, but I think frankincense probably lasts, even me, a whole bottle lasts me about maybe 6 months. So that gives you an idea. And I use a lot of frankincense. So, oregano, I'd say a whole bottle of oregano would last for at least a year, if not longer. So that just gives you some idea of how long you would have these oils. Peppermint, I think maybe 6 months too. And again, it depends on your individual needs, because if you're using peppermint every single day, you might go through it a little bit faster. Okay, so this kit is lovely, and it's called the Home Essentials Kit. Okay, so now the Dip Your Toes In kit, and this one is a really great set. It comes with 8 oils. They're fantastic oils. It's a little different than the last set, but it's got a lot of the same On Guard, Melaleuca, Lavender. And then it's got Balance, which is one of my favorite anxiety blends, and grounding blend. I love it. It smells amazing, and I use it very, very often. AromaTouch is a great option for pain and discomfort, and it's sort of like the warming version of Deep Blue. Deep Blue's cooling effect, or AromaTouch is a warming effect. And then Wild Orange, Peppermint, and Fractionated Coconut Oil, which is a great thing for carrier oil to dilute, and then the diffuser. So those are the only 3 sets I'm going to talk about tonight. There are other ones available, but these are my 3 top oil or top sets. And they really are the most popular ones. So any of those kits, actually, I'm sorry, not true. The Home Essentials Kit or the Natural Solutions Kit will qualify you to get this promo that's happening right now, the Deep Blue Rub promo, which is a fantastic opportunity to get a free bottle of the Deep Blue Rub and a free bottle of the Deep Blue Roller Touch. So the Deep Blue Roller is a touch, which means it's diluted. And then we've got the Deep Blue Rub, which is diluted in like a lotion format. And both of those are amazing. In fact, a lot of times people will use both simultaneously, sort of layer them up, and they get sort of an even deeper experience. So that opportunity only lasts for a couple more days. And it really is huge, because that's $95 almost worth of product for free. When you order anything over 200 PV. And again, the Home Essentials Kit counts towards that. You could do that last kit and tack on a few items You could do it completely a la carte and pick and choose what you're interested in and pay the $35 membership fee. It's up to you. And that membership lasts for a year, and when you want to renew it, it's $25, and they send you a bottle of peppermint. So it's a really great thing. I have not once regretted my membership, obviously. Here are a few resources. The one in the top right here, the Daily Drop, is a completely free app, and I love it. It's fantastic. It's got a great determine your mood feature where you can kind of choose how you're feeling, and it helps you choose the right oils to use. And that's for emotional needs. And then this book is just an excerpt from Essential Life, which is one of my favorite resources. And that's something that we actually like to offer to our new enrollments if they enroll with us, and then order 100 in their second month. So at least 100 in their first month and 100 in their second month. We like to give it to you for free so that you have it, and you have access to, at the tips of your fingers. There's a great chart in the beginning where you look up what your issue is, and it helps you determine what to use for that. So this is just an example. Obviously, not everyone is pregnant or having a baby right now, but lots of people are. So it seemed like a good page to turn to. Okay, so just in summary, my job, we lost some words on this. I don't know where they went, but my job is to help you choose your path and help you go down the path you want to go down. The first one that's missing is just to use oils for your own health and wellness. That is my major function here. I hope that this class helped you see how broad the oils are, how much potential they have for you, and I would love to help you on that journey. My mission is also to help you if you want to share with others, because it is difficult to keep this secret. It's difficult to have experiences with the oils and to see how they work and to know their potential and not want to help others, loved ones and friends and you name it. Maybe screaming from the rooftops. Maybe if you're screaming from the rooftops, my job is to help you in building a wellness business. And that's what I do. I scream it from the rooftops. So I'll teach you how to do that. But seriously, I've become very passionate about the doTERRA opportunity because it's changed our lives. It has freed us not just in our wellness journey and from, modern healthcare necessarily, but also from financial issues, and I've seen a lot of other people reap those benefits as well. And doTERRA is a very generous company and compensation plan, and we are growing like crazy. So if building a wellness opportunity or business sounds appealing to you, then I would love to chat with you about that and help you on that path. We've been successful, and we've seen and helped others be successful, and it's one of my favorite things to help people do that as well. So that's it. That's all I was going to share with you tonight. I just totally appreciate you being here. If there are any questions, I'm going to linger for just a little bit and see if I can answer some of those. Turn it back to my face. See if I can figure out how to get back to Facebook to do that.
I've been following.
Oh, okay. Drew's been fielding your questions, so they should be all answered. Then you're welcome to... no questions, only comments. Okay. Well, those are probably good. You guys probably said things that were super helpful. Thank you for filling in for me that way. All right. Well, I am excited to help you and help you get your orders in. So please let me know. And if somebody sent you to this class tonight, thank them for me and thank them for yourself, because they must love you, and get your hands on these oils. All right. Good night.